Hello, everybody. This is Regina Rose. I'm going to demonstrate layering techniques. Layering in watercolor is a form that we can use to make a darker color or a shadow. So what I have is a teddy bear, and I'm going to paint him basic brown. Got my paint pretty moist. And I want it pretty, I don't want it real dark initially. Let's see what this looks like. Yeah, that'll do. I'm going to go in and make everything the same color here in the beginning. I'm also going to leave a couple of areas of light showing through to show highlights. Just a couple. And I hope your weeks are going well. Hope you're not too awfully bored at home. I don't mind that I'm going right over the top from one to the next because things will change in a minute when it dries. And I can start layering. The eyes, of course, will be black, but either way, once I'm dry, I can apply black over the top of this. The nose is black, and now I've completed all steps that require one color pretty evenly throughout my teddy bear. You can see this already overlapped because I went over it twice, so it already overlapped in itself. But I'm going to lift that out a little bit. And that's how you lift out. If you want to lift out or make a highlight, you can put your brush in water, make sure it's nice and clean, and just go over a color. Take your paper towel and blot it, and you have a lifted out color. So there's two techniques, lifting out for a highlight and a layering for shadows. Shadows, and not only would we use layering in shadows, but we use it when we make red or a particular color darker. So in watercolor is very transparent, and we don't want to put it on real thick because that's not the nature of watercolor. The nature is that transparency. So once you have a color and then you put another color over the top, in essence, you're seeing through the top layer under the bottom layer. So let's say I put blue down and then I put red over the top of it. I could come out with a purple color. So now I'm going to, let's see, this needs to be pretty dry. I'm going to do my little helicopter trick, guys. Those of you that know me know we do a big, I call it a helicopter, but we shake our painting to get it dry. When a blow dryer is not handy, that should be good enough. Now we're going to go in with more brown. And the areas where you normally see a shadow, these are areas would be right where one thing is next to another. Usually under the neck, this color is too dark. So I'm lifting that out now. I decided that was too dark. Actually, I'm blending over and lifting out. If I go right down the middle here, that'll soften that edge and make it a gradated color change. I don't like the edges where they're real real defined. So if I just take water in my brush and I go over in between the light and the dark, it will softly blend together. Okay, probably other areas we might have a shadow might be around the ear area, inside the ear. I can put another color over the top of this one. Now that one is the same degree of brown as the first one I used, but now I'm going over the top of brown and I'm getting my color darker. Voila. Let's move on to his. I'm going to make it a little darker down here. And just round them up a little bit over here. So when you work on your projects at home, look for those shadows. Look where a color could be darker, and how are you going to make that color darker? I'm going to use black in the eyes now. In this particular case, I don't want it to be watered down very much. I'm only going to use the very, very tip of my brush, and I'm going to go in. First, let me test it. That'll work. It's a little on the wet side, so I'm going to suck out some water. I can suck out water by putting my paper towel like this and just setting it down, and it sucks all the excess water out. Let's move on to the nose. Again, I'm using just the very tip of that brush. I'm going to leave a highlight in this nose too. So I left a highlight in, and we might as well do the paws here the same color. I could have went another shade of brown, and if I wanted to spend more time on this, I could have added a bow, but I wanted it very, very simple and not very long. In fact, let me finish up here. Voila, all done. Of course, there's a lot more that could be done in a painting. This is just a technique, and that was, one more time, layering. And we also saw some gradation. That's too dark. Now I better be careful. This paint is wet, and if I touch my brown with that black, the two will just bleed together just like that. And one has to dry first before you can paint next to another one. All right, that's my demo, and I hope you learned something. Ciao.